The number of pedestrian deaths by car have risen.
The application to save money on cap and gowns is now open.
We sit down with a KUNV radio host to get an inside scoop on their current pledging status.
Studio G starts right now. Welcome to your 12 o'clock newscast with Studio G. I'm Tessa Cardwell.
And I'm Diana Zainadine.
Recent pedestrian deaths in the Valley are a huge concern. In the past 11 days, there have been 6 pedestrian deaths. The most recent happened on Sunday morning, April 8th, in the southwest part of the Valley. Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department investigators are searching for the truck driver who fled the scene of the crash. This past Saturday, April 7th, another pedestrian was killed while crossing Lake Mead Boulevard near Scholar Lane. Investigators say the driver pulled over and called the police after the pedestrian was struck while not in a crosswalk. 2017 was the deadliest year for pedestrians killed on the Valley roads.
Six people are dead this week after their jet to Las Vegas crashes. Today, the media released the names of the 6 victims whose plane went down on the way to Las Vegas on Monday. Here is the CNN video just moments after the crash. The plane departed from Scottsdale around 8:30 p.m. and plunged into a central Arizona Gulf just shortly after. According to Arizona news sources, the victims were on their way to Las Vegas to join friends for a vacation. It is still unclear as to who was flying the plane and the reason as to why it went down. An investigation is underway. Thankfully, no one on the ground was injured.
A man accused of shooting his neighbor at the Avenue Apartments on campus is facing attempted murder. The shooting occurred at 965 Cottage Grove Avenue on the backside of campus on Sunday around 9 a.m. The police were called out to the scene where they found the shot victim. The man who was shot was taken to Sunrise Hospital and Medical Center, where he was treated for his non-life-threatening injuries. Police say 62-year-old Richard Massell has been arrested in his connection to the shooting.
Delano Police are requesting charges against 2 immigration and custom enforcement agents who are said to be involved in a car chase that ended with a couple people dead.
Garcia and Marcelina Garcia Perfecto March 13th on West Cecil Avenue near Kennedy High School. The couple initially stopped but took off as the ICE agent got out of an unmarked car. According to Delano Police, deportation officers Ramiro Sanchez and Dimas Benitez said they continued in the same direction for about 15 seconds, pulled over, and eventually continued westbound, but were not pursuing the couple. Delano Police say surveillance video contradicts the deportation officers' statements. It was taken from a camera a mile from where officers say they stopped the couple's Explorer. It's just about halfway between the locations of the stop and the crash. Police say the video shows the Explorer pass by, and 10 seconds later, 2 unmarked SUVs with emergency lights activated follow. Again, the officers told police they only followed the Explorer for about 15 seconds, but they are seen pursuing it a mile from the stop. And that's why Delano Police requested charges against the officers for giving false information.
Stopped Santos Garcia because he matched a description of the agent they were targeting. Turns out Santos Garcia was not the person. The case has been forwarded to the Kern County District for further review. An ICE spokesman and the agency have no comment.
Republican House leader announces retirement this week.
Paul Ryan ended speculation about his future Wednesday.
I am announcing that this year will be my last one as a member of the House.
Ryan, who entered Congress when Bill Clinton was president, was elected House Speaker 3 years ago. He says he wants to spend more time with his family.
I will be retiring in January, leaving this majority in good hands with what I believe is a very bright future.
Ryan is among the dozens of incumbent House Republicans leaving Congress, and some say his exit might make it more difficult for the GOP to hold on to their majority.
I would say it's probably the toughest electoral landscape that Republicans have faced in more than a decade in American politics. And now the leader of the Republicans on Capitol Hill says he's calling it quits.
But Republicans hope voters will keep them in charge.
Do they want a Republican majority that's going to, keep their taxes low and keep the economy going well, or a Democrat majority that says they want to get rid of the tax cuts that might take the economy off kilter?
Congressional observers see House Majority Leader Kevin McCarthy and Majority Whip Steve Scalise as two of the contenders likely to replace Ryan. President Trump, meanwhile, called Ryan a truly good man who will leave a legacy of achievement that nobody can question. I'm John Lawrence reporting.
Instead of addressing his retirement, House Republicans said the first priority is retaining control of the House. They plan to wait on selecting who will take the job because who controls the House can play a deciding factor in who's the next Republican leader.
Do you have a tendency to stay up way past your bedtime? Well, recent studies show that this can potentially lead to early death. While researchers say the percentages are very low for this to happen, getting to bed on time helps you boost your metabolism. It can potentially add years to your life. And if you are staying up too late, you are impacting your brain performance in the classroom.
Did you vote today? Because CSUN is holding their elections. The CSUN elections are general elections that will determine the new Vice President and Senate President of CSUN. Today is the last day of voting, and you can vote online through My UNLV's Involvement Center. You can also vote at a booth on campus. This method is preferred. Go support your student government and have your voice heard. Coming up, we will see how our first hockey team lines up after playoff game 1.
And how you can snag a cap and gown. We'll be right back.
Oh, the station's great. You make friends, you gain skills, you learn how to do all this stuff with audio. It's a fantastic thing.
I can grow with everyone and everybody supports me as well as I can support them.
I think it's great. I think it's a blessing to have this kind of equipment from the Green Spun family as well as the state of Nevada.
And it's really informative to see, how a radio show really works.
Now that I do it, I have friends, I have people that want to hang out, and I get to play music a lot.
It's very good too because we have all the top of the line equipment to work with and students here that can help you out, so it's a very, very good way to get involved in radio.
Studio G, at first it looks overwhelming, and at first it looks like it's a lot of work, but I'll tell you what, it's the most beneficial class I've had at UNLV to date, without a doubt. You get to not only develop stories and work on your interviewing skills, your editing skills, and your shooting skills from a camera perspective, you get to work on all the equipment that's in the studio. So you're working on audio, you're working on directing, tech directing, you get to produce your own show. You can take a 30-minute newscast and make it your own. And that's really cool about Studio G. Like I said, a lot of it seems overwhelming at first, but it is by far the best class I've taken at UNLV since I've been here.
Welcome back, Rebels. So for today, the weather is very windy outside. We're at a high of 68 and a low of 50 degrees. And for our picture of the day, we have from the game last night. This is from USA Today after the first goal of the playoff game of the Golden Knights versus the LA Kings. The Knights won the game 1-0. The next playoff game is this Friday at T-Mobile Arena. Let's go Knights. See what else we have. Oh, we need some magic up in here. Let's see if someone can give us some magic to help this work.
There we go. Okay. So for our weather for today, like I said, there is a wind advisory at the moment. It is until 11 p.m. tonight, so beware of the wind and be very cautious. It gets a little bit better. Friday, it's sunny, 70 degrees is the high and 53 is the low. For Saturday, it's sunny as well. Sunday, there's going to be a little bit of breeze here and there, but definitely not as bad as the wind right now. And then for Sunday, it's going to be a little bit breezy as well. Okay, so in the valley right now, in Centennial and Summerlin, we're at 61 degrees. North Las Vegas, 68 degrees. Las Vegas in the central area, we're at 67. Southern Highlands is 68. On the other side, we have Henderson and Boulder City at 68 as well. Okay, so for tonight, like I said, there is a wind advisory until 11 p.m. tonight. Winds can gust. Right now, they're about 35 miles per hour. The humidity is about 17%, but the main thing to look out for is the wind advisory. There is a few clouds here and there. For tonight, it's not going to be as windy, but it'll still be 20 miles per hour, so be aware of that, and it's going to be 50 degrees. So for our national forecast, we'll start here on the west coast. The rain is coming down, the wind's coming down. It's a little bit cloudy here and there. That's where we're getting our clouds from. And then we have some thunderstorms up here, and then on the east coast we have also a little bit of rain, and then a little bit down further we have sun. So we are going to go back over to the anchor desk. That's all we have for the weather.
Thanks, Alexis. As you might have seen yesterday, Mark Zuckerberg faced off with Congress for nearly 5 hours. Here is how Representative Walden took the ordeal.
Well, there were certainly some questions he did not fully answer and has agreed to do so in writing in the next 10 days, as is the way our committee works. I would say this, that I think they tried to put as much of the damage behind them before the hearing ever started. They tried to get as much information out as possible. They looked at what went wrong, and they put in place both notification of those users who might have been affected, as well as new tools to try and prevent this problem from occurring again. But they've got to rebuild trust, not only with the users on Facebook, but also the American people.
Its course. On Monday, we saw social media roll out a See How You're Affected tool at the top of our news feeds to inform users if they are among the tens of millions of people who had their data improperly harvested. Visit the website on the screen to check for yourself.
Last night, the T-Mobile Arena was filled to capacity with fans as the Golden Knights won its inaugural playoff game. Take a look.
There's nothing like playoff hockey. Flyer, who might have been a little shocked by that score in Pittsburgh tonight. Nosek's got it, feeds the point. Here's Theodore, scores! Center, into the zone. Carter, Downey, down the middle. Shot a wide rebound. Oh, Brown missed an open net. How'd he miss that? And the night's clear. That is one check by Fantenberg. Carlson knocked down behind the net, but stays on the puck. Here's Carlson, what a pass, and quick. Looked around behind him, but he's made the stop and holds on. What a great dish by William Carlson.
Marc-Andre Fleury was brilliant as he outduels Jonathan Quick.
Final shots 30-28 in favor of the Kings.
Of an expansion franchise, 30 saves tonight, another shutout, and a gift for the Elvises.
This is just the beginning of the 2018 NHL playoffs. The Knights will be playing the LA Kings again this weekend. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we will sit down with Frank Mueller to update us about their KUNV pledge.
Sunday evening jazz. I mainly play a lot of contemporary jazz music from the 1960s up until about 2012, 2013. When I go on, just explain who it was, the name of the song, the name of the artist, maybe the name of the album, their career. I just hope that everybody enjoys it and appreciate it for the kind of music it is and how great it is. My name is Sam, and I host Sunday Evening Jazz on the RebelHD2.com.
get to do an internship, you have to do an internship. It's one of the requirements for journalism majors. You have to do an internship before you can graduate.
Definitely having an internship as a requirement really helps push yourself out there and to just remind you that, that your graduation is coming up soon. You're going to have to need some work experience in your career. So it's really good to put yourself out there early on, and they tend to help students a lot more. So when you do a student internship, it really helps out a lot.
Welcome back. I'm sitting with a KUNV General Manager, Frank Muller. We stole him right in the middle of their pledge. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me here today.
So I have just a few questions for you. I know you're currently in a pledge drive.
Yep.
Can you clarify a little bit more about what that means for you guys?
Sure. So KUNV is the public radio station of UNLV, and our funding comes from 3 different sources. One source is UNLV and the state of Nevada through the Board of Regents. The second source is through local businesses that underwrite. And then the third source is through our listeners during the pledge drives. So we have pledge drives twice a year where our listeners will call in, they'll make pledges of support, and that helps keep the programming on the air.
Nice. And how long is the pledge?
Pledge drive generally lasts about 2 weeks, so we're hoping to wrap it up on Sunday. We may run a little long, but hopefully not too long. We do need to hit our goal.
Okay, cool. And we see that you guys bring a lot of food. Is that something you usually do?
Yeah, so we have volunteers that man our phone rooms, which is a combination of students and community volunteers, in order to make sure that they're comfortable and they're able to stay in there and take the phone calls. We reach out to area restaurants who bring in different food to help feed our volunteers while they're in there.
That's awesome. And being that you are a public station, can you explain why pledging is so important?
Yes, as a public station and nonprofit station, there's really a need for our listeners to be involved with the station. When they pledge, not only are they supporting the station, but they're making a certain amount of commitment to the programming. They help us know if we're headed the right direction. And especially as we've been doing new things over the last couple of years, we've expanded our programming. We're now 100% local with all of our programming. We've vastly expanded student opportunities at the station. As we're doing those things, those pledge drives help us know if we're headed the right direction. And because our pledge drives our goals have grown and we've been meeting them year over year, we know that we're doing things the right way.
And if you don't mind us asking, how are you doing this year compared to previous pledges?
Good. So our overall goal this year is $100,000 for our pledge drive. Comparatively speaking, we raised $90,000 last spring and $75,000 last fall.
Wow, that's
so yeah, so it's a lofty goal. We're definitely more than halfway there. In fact, I think we're almost 2/3 of the way there. So as I mentioned, we'll probably run over by a day or two over our scheduled time, but all in all, considering how high our goal is, I can't complain at all.
And if others want to get involved, how would they go about doing so?
Well, there's either our website at KUNV.org, people can pledge there, or they can call our pledge room at 702-895-1234. We do have special pledge rates for students who get involved at the station, and our students, along with many of our staff and community volunteers, have all become members of the station as well as participate at the station.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for
Thank
taking
you.
the time to join us. We really hope your pledge continues strong as well.
Thank you.
Also, be sure to tune in to 91.5 FM The Source. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
We are member supported. KUNV 91.5 The Source. Here's why you should become a member. Become a part of the public radio family while keeping jazz alive in Southern Nevada. Every member receives a discount card to businesses and restaurants around the valley, along with a premium of KUNV branded items, exclusive access to KUNV ticket giveaways for concerts and events, and private members-only events with prominent musicians such as Paul Taylor, Vincent Ingala, and many more. We are 91.5 The Source, and that source is you. So become a member today.
It's awesome. I didn't know what I was getting into. I thought it was just going to be fun, just me in a room playing music. And it's blossomed into something beyond what I imagined. Like, people just love it. A lot of people are eager and excited to be a part of UNLV Radio. A lot of people didn't even know UNLV had a radio station, so I'm glad to be bringing that awareness to the Vegas community.
It feels great. You know, it's a great accomplishment because it starts as something that nobody knows about. You get to build it from the ground up. So it builds your work ethic. It also gives you a sense of accomplishment when it's like, man, we made it. We did something. We made something that nobody else has made. So
it's great to be part of the student community and having to bring something to the student body with music, which is one of my passions.
I feel like it's giving me a voice, and not just for me, but for people who have something they are passionate about. And I just want to, keep that conversation going and let other people see what we're talking about here.
It's amazing to have an opportunity to play whatever it is that you want to play. It's also a great way to connect and meet with new artists, great people, just music lovers in general.
What's up, it's your girl Scribe Cash. This is
the Prince Madison. This is the Takeover.
Played by the Video Games Live Orchestra.
Yeah, on Twitter, @MilesLowMusic and action.
This week, the Nevada Association of Broadcasters took over the Las Vegas Convention Center for their annual NAB show. The NAB show is the place where professionals in the media industry come from all over the world to reveal the latest technology in media and entertainment. Next to CES, it is one of the largest conventions that takes place here, attracting over 100,000 visitors every year. Products on display range from the latest audio equipment to 8 cameras, to cybersecurity and much more. Stay tuned. The following week, we will have more news on the NAB show.
When looking over your graduation checklist, a cap and gown should be at the top of your list. If, for any reason, you find yourself unable to buy one, there is no need to worry because CSUN has your back through the Cap and Gown Lending Program.
Easy for undergraduates to go into the Cap and Gown Lending Program. You can either go to the CSUN website at unlv.edu/CSUN, or you can come to the Student Union, 3rd floor, room 316, and talk to the front desk.
CSUN only aims to assist students during this exciting time. The renting price is only $10, and you get $5 back if returned on time. Be sure to check it out.
A museum centered around cannabis will open in July. Cannabation will open in Neonopolis at 450 Fremont Street. According to their website, the museum will feature a 360-degree weather theater and will house the world's largest blown gas bong standing at 22 feet. Visitors will not be allowed to smoke or use products with THC in them in the museum, and they must be 21 or older to enter. Tickets start at only $4.20. Get it? $4.20?
On Wednesday, Grammy Award-winning singer Mariah Carey revealed her ongoing battle with bipolar disorder. The Vision of Love singer says she was diagnosed with bipolar disorder back in 2001. She says she was in denial about her diagnosis for a long time, constantly worrying about the secret getting out. But Carey says she come to accept her disorder in recent years. The illness causes waves of depression and emotional highs known as manic phases. Carey says she is currently in therapy and taking medication to help keep the symptoms under control. She told People magazine that she decided to make her disorder public because she is, quote, in a really good place in her life.
Marvel and Avenger fans should be on the lookout for something exciting this month. Take a look.
Is near.
Actually, Avengers Infinity War won't even open until April 27th, but the excitement is off the charts. Ticket pre-sales on Fandango.com are not only higher than for Marvel's last mega smash, Black Panther, but for the last 7 Marvel movies combined. A Fandango rep calls it unprecedented anticipation.
Again, the film opens up for viewing April 27th. You can purchase your tickets for all local theaters on Fandango.com.
Who doesn't love cheese? Today is National Grilled Cheese Day. Food historians say cooked bread and cheese is an ancient food that has been enjoyed in all corners of the world. Of course, the modern version wasn't born until the 1920s, when sliced bread and cheese became readily available. So, before that, the dish was served as an open-faced sandwich. Today, the possibilities are endless, and there's no real wrong way to make a grilled cheese sandwich, as long as the 2 key ingredients are involved: bread and cheese. If you don't want to, or you don't know how to make one for yourself, check out some local restaurants. What are you most excited for, Grilled Cheese Day or Avengers?
It's a really hard choice, but I'm going to have to go with Grilled Cheese Day because it's food and it involves cheese. And speaking of the open-faced grilled cheese, my mom used to make grilled cheeses for my brother and I without the top part of the bread, and we never knew why, and she would call them cheesies.
Oh, wow.
And now I kind of know why.
Yeah, I'll pick food any day over anything.
Exactly.
Well, that wraps up today's show, Rebels.
See you again Tuesday with more news here on Studio G. Have a great day and weekend.